Hey, welcome to Gun Stuff. Today we're going to get out on the range and put a couple rounds through our Walther PPK. So we've got a black and a stainless model, and we got a couple different types of ammunition. We're going to do our standard ammunition testing, and we're going to start off the 7-yard line. We'll do a little defensive shooting just to show the capability of these guns. These guns have been around for a long time, and they were developed originally. These are the very first concealed carry guns. They've been out forever, and they were designed to be able to be hidden on the body somewhere or carried inconspicuously. So a lot of people nowadays, 9mm is the reigning champ of concealed carry, self-defense type stuff like that. But a lot of people write off 380, but 380 is still a very capable round. Still the same diameter as the 9mm, just has a little bit lighter grain weight. But these rounds are still just as lethal as any other. So what we're going to do is we're going to fire a couple rounds here, show you the capabilities of these guns. Okay, so I'm start off with both of our samplings today are from SIG Elite, and one of them is a 90 grain defense round and one of them is a 100 grain ball round. So I'll start off with the ball round, and I'll shoot a 6-round group with it on top. All right, so I'm going to go for the top dot, 6 rounds. All right, moving on to the defensive rounds. Okay, weapon on safe. All right, so what we have here, we had our 100 grain ball rounds on top, defensive rounds 90 grain on bottom. Both are SIG Performance Elite ammo. It looks like our 100 grain on top did the best. You got a couple. It looks like that may be 2 bullet holes there, a couple there, 2 or 3 here, and then another one over here. So it looks like you got most of yours are right on here. The 90 grain, being a little hotter round, is shooting a little bit higher. So we just wanted to show the accuracy up close of like 7 yard, something like that, of this pistol, and just to show the cycling and the handling characteristics of it. Now, one of the things I just noticed, having shot this, it's probably the first gun I've ever shot that had shiny sights, because this is all stainless gun. And one of the things that I noticed is as the sun is shining down, it really reflected all that light back up. So my sights, as I was shooting these 2 groups, was just a brilliant flash of light. So trying to line up that little bitty red dot that's etched into the front sight on here was relatively hard because of it being so shiny. But I am out in brilliant light conditions. Self-defense situation, you probably would never even notice that, but that's just a little characteristic that we want to bring to you to let you know that we notice when we shoot these guns. So now we're going to step back, we're going to shoot these a little bit further. All right, so we are back up on the hill. We got our steel down range, of course. We're going to engage 30, 50, maybe even stretch out a little bit further than that. All right, 30. All right, 50. All right, one more. Okay. All right, one of the things I'm noticing also is I really like the finger on the bottom, the little pinky extension on there. Gives me a little bit better grip. I was shooting the first one, and it really feels like I'm struggling to hold on to it with the size of my hands, but with the little pinky extension on there, it makes this a lot more comfortable. All right, so I'm gonna go back out to 50. All right, 50. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and try and engage the 100. All right, so I got one of them. All right, but just to show that this can be used a little bit further out, it doesn't have to be the up close. Now the meat and potatoes of this gun and what it was designed for was up close to get people back up off you, for you to be able to carry this thing inconspicuously, but then when you get into a pinch, you can get this thing out and get people back up. You can get clear space, get you and your family, whatever, out of the area. Of course, this was designed for police in that undercover situations, but it was very quickly adopted by anyone who wanted to carry a gun undercover or concealed carry. And for the longest time, this was the reigning champ until other things started to come out. But since this is a classic, we love to get them out here. So we're going to go step back down to the target down there. We're going to do a little up close defensive shooting. All right, so here we are up close. This is where this gun would most likely be used. Up close, this is the meat and potatoes of what this was designed for. It's going to be this close at arm's length distance. A lot of different agencies will do different techniques, and a lot of different training programs will do different techniques for up close shooting. Some will say throw a strike out to break distance between you and the attack. Some will say just come up and guard, get the gun out and shoot. But all of them are, you know, just what we used to do is ours would be at arm's length just to keep us from blowing the targets and everything off of the cardboard. So we had to scoot back just a little bit, because when you stand up close, it's going to blow everything apart, blow a big hole in the target. So we would back off just a little bit just for efficiency's sake, and then you would immediately come up, draw, and put your rounds into the target. So we'll go ahead and just run that drill a couple times because that's what this is designed for. All right, going hot. All right. So at this point, I would be going through, I'm checking everything around me, seeing what's going on. Of course, you're not going back to the holster until everything's safe. But at this point, you come up, get your couple shots off, and then you're braking and you're moving back away from the target. You're creating distance to stop that attack. Okay, so we'll do it a couple more times. All right, and as you can see, you run into all kinds of silly problems when you do this. So what I'm using right now is I'm using the only holster I had available to me that would work with this gun, and it's just a friction fit holster. The holster came out with it, so you have to get into the habit of getting out here and running into these small problems to counteract them when you run into them. So firearms on safe, I'm gonna bend down, I'm gonna pick up my holster. This is really an irrelevant type thing, because in real life, if this happened and this holster fell on the ground, I still saved my life, I still saved a family member, I still saved someone that was in a life-threatening situation. The fact that the holster fell on the ground really doesn't make much of a difference. Once everything's safe, I can go and pick it up and be right back at it. All right, so we'll do it one more time. All right, going through magazine release. All right, so because of what we're doing here and we're filming, I can't be running back and forth in and out of frame and creating space to do reloads and things like that. So I'm doing everything right here in this box. All right, but you've seen I had the holster issue where the holster came out. I also ran out of ammo, going for my reload, making sure I had spare mag. So I'm gonna go ahead and download this dude real quick. Okay, back on safe. So this is our black version. It's the blued version, so it's all blued, comes in black. So one of the things I noticed is that it's a little bit easier when shooting this also, you know, off camera, is that with the sights being black, it's a little easier to pick up the sights. This model here didn't hold as tight a pattern as the other one when we were shooting them, but that's why I use the other one for the longer shots. But this thing is like the OG of defensive carry. So getting this thing out, and as you can see, all these shots are all still right there in that chest cavity. So that's, you're gonna, even if they're wearing something, whatever, it's still gonna stop an attack, even if they have some type of armor or something. You know, if you're worried about the capability of this bullet penetrating and killing someone or whatever, bottom line is, if it stops the attack, it works. So that's one of the things that we wanted to show, is the capabilities of these. We know we like it here, and we hope you do too.